last time on GoldTail Dunda,
Dund.
the party was traveling through the Feywild, following the eccentric creature, the eccentric frogling known as Bobados. Bobados was a time traveler of sorts, and claimed to be able to guide the party into the past in order to give them more time to beseech another city to aid Arkala in its time of need. They're doing this, of course, to try to fight off the invasion of the Exiled One, an ancient god-slayer that has plagued the land for many a century. In doing so, in following Bobados through the Feywild, they went backwards through a dungeon, fighting the boss first, and then wiggling their way through traps that were a cinch to disable, until finally reaching the entrance of that dungeon, and realizing that something was happening to their new friend Bobados. Bobados was becoming younger. Minute by minute, Bobados was going back rapidly towards childhood, and before they shrank into a tadpole completely, had to bid farewell so that they could go back forward in time, back to the future, and do it all over again. Find the party in the future and tell them how to get to the past. With one final bit of advice. Follow the bears.
Follow the bears.
So we need to find a gay bar.
Follow the bear.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, those mysterious words ringing in their head as they exit the portal and give the wizard that designed the dungeon a final taunting.
Ophelia's gonna like try to look around a little bit and see if there's like any kind of immediate notation of bears being around, so we could get like an idea of which way to walk.
Go ahead and make a survival or perception, whichever you prefer.
Make sure my advantage's off. There we go. 19.
Okay, 19. Bears, right? Bears.
Bears.
Well,
Bears.
probably one of the biggest things that you could look for would be tracks. So you set to work looking for some tracks. You start with some of the areas where grass has been trodden, and like I said, you start looking through some of those wildlife trails that wiggle through the rocks and wiggle through the trees. And you're not seeing any immediate signs of large, the oblong shape that you would associate with bear tracks. However, you do find, as you're looking along the ground, along the trees, you do see a place where it looks like a tree has been partially stripped of its bark. And this tree is much like a palm tree. It has a rough surface going up in layers, yet one side of this seems to have been ground flat, or ground more smooth than other sides of this tree.
It looks like it's been stripped. Is there like
Yes.
claw marks on it, or?
Looking at it, you, with your 19 survival, you think that this tree could have been used as a scratching post of some kind by a variety of animals.
Okay.
The scratching tree.
How big do the scratch marks look? Are they a variety of size? Is it like one cohesive size?
It looks, judging by it, it looks like the claws are about the same size and they are large.
Okay.
You can kind of see this from the edge of it. It's not like a mix of like little tiny claw marks and then big claw marks. It's like most of them are big claw marks around the edge of this kind of bare patch on this thing.
Okay. Ophelia kind of beckons, the party over, and she points towards the claw marks and she says, "Well, we either have a lead, or we're walking towards some tigers."
Warren looks at the tree. That looks like a tree.
What is on the tree? And she stopped herself from talking.
He's like, "Oh, that's easy. That's wood."
Your head is made out of wood.
Oh, it is? He starts patting himself on his head. Like,
You hear a hollow donk, donk, donk kind of sound. So, Adri, peeking over Warren's large pauldron shoulder, you peer towards some of the large standing stones that glow with these blue runes. What you can see is that the runes are changing. They almost resemble one of those old-style train, update boards for arrivals and departures that flick through until they settle on something and then spell out something vertically. And they start flicking again through several runes before settling, and then flicking again before settling. They appear to be written in Draconic. Do you speak Draconic?
Let me double check. I think I do.
Pretty sure you do. Yeah.
Yes,
you're
I
the
do.
one. Yeah, you share Draconic with Ibonixus. I share Infernal.
Okay.
That's how I remember.
So, you notice names. They spell names.
Like
Such as...
person names or place names?
Well, I'll tell you what you see, and you can make your assumption.
There you go.
You see a name, Uridina, and then it flips, and it says Isopolis, and then it flips, and it says Washington, and then it flips, and it says Klagau. And it continues to roll through that about every maybe 10 seconds as you're watching.
Alright, this is either a way station or a register of some kind.
Well, as these names are like flickering, Opio takes out her journal and she's like writing them down just in case.
Sure.
Is there kind of like an area that it looks like the motes are coming out of? Or like going into?
Seem to be coming from several places. Some of them just kind of drift off of the leaves from the tree. Some of them go into or out of the bark of the tree or into the stones. Some of them rise up out of the ground, seemingly at random. There doesn't seem to be any current rhyme or reason.
Okay. Okay, so Opio looks at Audrey and kind of like shows her journal, and she uses, she's like pointing at the names, and she's like, well, these are obviously cities. They're not people, so maybe we should go check them out?
Yeah.
As you discuss, two of the bears that were having a conversation up ahead approach each other and look to be squaring off.
they're about to high five.
Both of them rise up on their back haunches and give firm stomps against the ground. There's a pause, and then at some unseen cue, they both, at the same moment, collide with each other.
Ooh,
It is a vicious and intense blow of fur and muscle as they are pushing and shoving and batting at each other, knocking each other in the face, in the chest, in the stomach. Sometimes actually clasping claws together and shoving, trying to get under or around the other. And the bears are starting, one of them on the right is giving ground. It's being driven back, claws scraping against the ground as the other shoves forward and suddenly comes up from under, wraps its arms around the other bear's waist, and then just heaves it over. It collides with one of the standing stones and then falls onto the ground on its side. And then the bears begin to move away as if nothing had happened.
the most epic of high fives.
Oh.
What?
The bears have created sumo wrestling.
Probably have. What do you call it? Now I know. Ophelia being someone that was raised within nature, I will say that because I don't want to, spoil her backstory. Someone that was raised within nature. Was that normal at all for bears?
So you have heard of bears having territorial disputes or disputes over mates, and so this kind of checks out. However, normally one of them leaves the territory.
I have
with
I
like
have
tail
failed.
between legs, and you know.
I've been banished from bear society.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty
They're
much.
fighting over something else.
Nothing here, like up until they just kind of go back and sit on their haunches and you know are grunting and growling in their bear language. It doesn't seem like that is quite normal.
Ivanixis will suddenly turn to the party. She'll be like, okay, what if, and this sounds crazy, what if I try to go talk to one of them,
Oh, it's a very good idea. Communication is important.
right? Right?
I-
I mean,
I-
at least maybe they'll know what this place is since they're all
I-
hanging around.
I agree with the principle, but do you be speaking their language?
I know a spell.
Ah, that'll work then.
Oh no, they're sharing the brain cell.
Let me see something real fast. Do. Yo.
Movers
Well,
and shakers.
I'm just
Audrey's
checking
going
my
to ready up the
spells.
ultimate answer to every question. Just
Um,
just in case.
in case. Oh my god. Okay.
It's time for dodgeball with the balls made out of fire.
No.
Just in case. Because I still have the spell slot that I didn't use any during that last fight. Althea's gonna like look at Udis and Warren and kind of beckon Warren to come a little closer. As
Tiptoes over.
as she looks at Audrey and she's like, "See ya," and she casts invisibility at 3rd level to make Warren and Udis invisible.
Okay.
Oh boy, this worked out great last time. It was invisible.
Warren and Urist, poof, vanish from sight.
Gonskis.
And she looks at Audrey and she says, "If a bear sees a threat, they will attack us. We don't look like a threat."
So she walks over to the bear. She's like, hello?
The bear turns its head, kind of in the lazy sort of way that bears do, and kind of looks you up and down. And says, "Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Who are you?"
My name is Nixie. Do you have a name?
"Yes,
Bears a lot.
I am Bundagast."
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
I accept
yeah.
this name. It's
What
it's
a
perfect.
wonderful name.
What a wonderful name.
"Thank you. Nixie is good too."
Oh, thank you, thank you. So I had a question for you, if you don't mind me asking.
"Oh, I don't mind."
I'd like to know, do you know what this place is, as she gestures out to, like, the runes and the glowing everything?
"Oh, yes. Well, this is the Great Gatewood.
Gate.
Yes. GG for short."
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
So is it like a gate then of some sort?
"Oh, yes.
Woods do like to enter gates. Hehe.
And the tree opens for us once every so often when we come to an accord."
Is that what the
Oh.
other two were fighting about?
"Yes. They're fighting over what our next vacation destination should be."
Oh my god.
Oh, that is a pretty serious decision.
"Oh, yes. Last year we spent a weekend in a place called Cleveland.
How did that go?
It was very cloudy."
It was very cloudy.
I see.
Ain't no way
Violator
they're coming out
I
of
don't know what the hell Cleveland is.
What's a Cleveland? No.
The first thing when Riley said Cleveland, the first thing that came to my mouth was, "This is the Cleveland show." God.
So can you not use it if it doesn't open?
Oh no. We all have to agree before we beseech the great Gatewood.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, is there any way that maybe we can... Because I have some friends with me, as she gestures back to what's only 2 of her party members, and 2 of them are invisible. And Ziot's kind of just off to the side, just sitting there. Could we maybe help you guys come to an agreement?
Oh, yes. Currently, the assumption is that we'll be traveling to a place called Exandria.
Jesus Christ, Ryan! I'm not even trying to hide it at this point.
But
Yes.
if you were to win the
Yes.
sumo tournament, you could decide where we go for our next vacation.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna go talk to my friends, and I'll get right back with you. Okay.
Sure, take your time.
The Simla is just like a little tackle sport. That doesn't seem too hard. I could probably do that.
Aye, that seems like our most direct option. With of course, the added caveat that we may as well also talk to the other bearers, especially anyone that seems like they're gonna win. After all, if we can convince them that Everberry is a better spot for them, well,
That is true.
Well, then why don't our more charismatic members do that? And the rest of us watch Warren fight a bear.
aye, that's
Ophelia
that's
flicks-
using the old mushroom cap.
Ophelia flicks Audrey's mushroom cap. Ah, yes, because we can speak to bears.
Well, Ibby can. Sorry, Nixie can.
Oh, it's fine. You can call me whatever.
They're fey bears. They can probably speak common. Or something of the
Or
sort.
something of the sort.
We have not tested this. This is true.
So
It's like
Ophelia
it's-
drops the invisibility on Warren and Udist and looks at both of them and says, "If the bears ask where you were, you guys were pissing."
Hmm.
Jesus.
Oh, I get it. Yes, of course.
Just very quickly, she's like, "Hello, can you understand me?"
The bear turns its head, gives a bit of a gruff huff, and nods slowly.
Can you speak the same language?
Well, at least they're not hostile.
Oh, Ophelia. Oh, you go.
Oh, sorry. No, Ibanixis will speak up to the bear and say, "It's okay, I can translate for you."
And to you, the bear says, "Oh, good someone speaks the valuable language of bear."
Bear.
It's a very nice language. I imagine just the whole party just hears her making these weird noises.
Bear
back at
noises.
bear.
Yeah.
Full on Dr. Doolittling, yes.
Dr. Doodling.
Jesus.
Perfect.
Ophelia immediately calls back to other party members. She's like, "Andre, you were wrong. They can't understand us," even though she knows that they can.
It clearly nodded.
And
Clearly nodded.
Nixie will just like elbow Ophelia a little bit, like, "Oh, hush."
Ow, come on, I have to be right on this. You think I want that old fart to be right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Wow. Hostile.
Mhm.
Okay, so what do you ask this bear?
She kind of like looks at Nix and she's like, "Ask." Well, I mean, if they can understand what I'm saying,
Yeah,
What do
they
you
at
call it?
least understand you.
Yeah. She's like, "We would like to help with the sumo wrestling, that you guys are partaking in, but we would like to know, how can we help?"
The bear returns and says, "Well, the current champion is up there," and they gesture to the black bear next to the tree. "That's Honey, And Honey, you would challenge them and state clearly where you wish to go, and then you would wrestle.
Warren, you want to wrestle a bear?
Would I? Oh, this will go great in my stories.
Oh no.
Barely any hesitation. As it so happens, we were just recently talking amongst ourselves and thinking that Everbury would be a rather lovely time to visit this turn of the century. After all, the walls have come together nicely. The people are interesting. Apparently, I hear tell that there be some interesting chaos that be arising in the surrounding areas. Someone beginning to play abouts with forces that they didn't ken, or shouldn't anyway.
The bear kind of mulls this over and says, "Well, we've never been to Everbury. Go ahead and roll a perception or a persuasion check."
Excellent.
Perception.
A perception check.
We have to see if they were convinced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh. Okay. I remember. I think I remember reading that thread. All right. What do we got here? Persuasion.
Holy shit.
That is a 29.
It's a 29 with a natural 20.
You're right. We're going to Burpleberry.
The bear looks you all over, eyes kind of squinting a little bit, and nods, and he says eventually, "Very well. I accept your challenge to change our location to Everbury if you can best me in wrestling."
I expected that might be where this was going. Might I introduce you to my good friend Warren over here?
He just waves.
Oh, thank goodness. I was worried I was going to have to trample one of you, squishy lot.
Oh, no.
Goodness.
He looks appropriately bear-sized, the best kind of size.
The best kind of size.
Jesus.
God.
In one corner, Honey, 800 pounds, 9 feet tall. In the other corner, Warren, 250 at about 8 feet tall.
Like a fair fight.
Just to give everyone an idea of this would not be a regulation match. Okay.
A regulation match.
Yeah,
We have a
not
heavyweight champion versus a lightweight champion. That's very different.
This is Aaron Hansen versus Harley of Epic Mealtime all over again.
Yes.
Oh,
But
man.
nevertheless, Honey has been hexed. And is anybody going to give Warren some benefit?
First,
I would, but
inspire
I
me.
am not a support me.
Oh yeah,
You are not a support mage.
Ernest
I'm
is
assuming you're coming up
absolutely
close to
top.
the watch, though.
Oh yes.
Unfortunately, Hex is concentration, so I can't cast guidance because that's also concentration.
Ernest is
Very good.
absolutely offering an inspiration die.
Okay,
Thank
so Ernest
God.
so Warren has inspiration, which is a 1d8, right?
Which is a 1d8 at this level,
Yeah,
yes.
that's the level we are.
Perfect. I'm just
Correct.
straight up gonna use it.
So, you are squaring off against Honey, and the other bears are watching with interest. They've overheard your conversation. They've seen these strange mortals, these strange creatures come in and kind of interrupt their decision-making process. The scrolls, the runes along the stones are continuing to flick from place to place, and the great tree awaits the decision. So, Honey stands up on hind legs. Its arms kind of in front of it, showing off claws that individually are as long as one of Warren's fingers.
Oh boy.
Honey growls and lifts one leg and stomps it into the ground, lifts the other leg and stomps it into the ground. What do you do, Warren?
Warren's like, oh, I see. So he does the same thing. He puts his hands on his knees and he stomps the ground with one foot and stomps the ground with his other foot, just mimicking what the
good.
bear's doing.
Oh.
There is a singular mote of energy that floats between you, and you can see that Honey's eyes are looking beyond it at you, waiting. I want you to roll an insight check.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Boy.
Uh-oh.
And say, oh well, I'm skilled in it. I guess. Why did that roll advantage?
Yeah, go ahead and re-roll that without the advantage.
Okay. Where is my insight? There it is. Bow. 11.
11. You're not really sure what that means,
It's like,
Oh, no.
but the
Just looking
light
at the bear.
blinks out, and the bear is suddenly rushing towards you. 800 pounds of flesh and fur is in your face. So
Bear time.
that was the signal to start, right?
Okay.
And because you didn't roll a 13, which was the check for that, the bear has the initiative. So this is going to be a series of opposed strength and constitution checks.
Oh boy.
The bear is in your face. I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Strength saving
Judo
throw.
throw.
Whoa, pow! All right, let's do judo throw. I'm using that D8.
Okay, you're going to add the D8.
Oh,
Nice.
Okay, so 9. So 9. Now, the bear has disadvantage on strength checks.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, it is trying to give you a good push.
rolled a 2
And this is
and
going to
then
be
a 1.
+8 that it has.
So I literally need to nat one.
Yeah, it would need a nat 1.
So it gets an 8, plus 8 is 16. So you are shoved back 5 feet. And it moves forward. It is now your turn to make a strength check, and it will make a
boy.
strength saving throw.
Okay. And I don't have any more inspiration. Can I just keep
If you
getting
wish to do
inspiration?
something else other than shove, you may attempt it.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
you
else?
did a strength save.
Come
Oh,
on,
sorry.
Warren.
There's
Wait,
a strength.
I think it's
Question.
same anyways.
Because I
First
don't know if
we'll-
Warren has a proficiency with athletics. Would these count for athletic checks? 'Cause I don't know if you have
Yes,
proficiency with that.
they would.
You have
Oh,
proficiency with
If
that,
those
Warren?
if those are like if these count as athletic checks, then that would be a 20.
Oh, that would be a
Consider-
20. Okay.
yeah.
So we'll take that 20, and then here's its check. Its
And,
save against you.
Ernst is still going to be feeding Warren inspiration much as possible.
How many inspiration die can you give?
3.
3. So,
So,
that was
you know,
one that was used.
Make them
Okay.
count.
Make them
Okay,
count.
so
Okay.
that was one that was used, so you have 2 more effectively. I will
Okay,
allow that.
I don't need a 1. I'm pretty sure I don't need 1.
You can still hold on to it, though.
Yeah.
So, again, this result is going to be +8 with disadvantage. That becomes a 19, which is a failure, which means you now may do one of 2 things. You can either push the bear back, or you can try to get under the bear and tip it. What do you try to do?
Oh man, I was gonna ask if I could just suplex it behind me out of the ring.
Behind you. Okay, so you have it. We'll say that's the tip attempt. Okay.
Okay.
So you go under and you try to lift the bear above you and over you. Now you are lifting 800 pounds of bear that does not want to be lifted. Okay. So even though you beat this opposed check, it is going to go into the next round. Okay. So, if you can succeed again, you will succeed in suplexing the bear and bringing it out of the ring.
I
Excellent.
must interject for a moment. When you said 800 pounds of bear that does not want to be lifted, I now have an image of Warren under the bear, lifting the middle of it, and it's doing that stretchy thing that cats do when they don't want to be picked up.
Long bear.
Okay. So here we go again. You're going to do a strength save, and it is going to do a strength check. So this is a
boy.
strength save instead of athletics. That's the key here.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh.
So it got a 15 plus 8. It was going to be a 23.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to roll heckin'.
Don't forget you have bardic inspiration for this too.
Oh,
my
Yeah, I'm not even gonna
God.
bother.
Jesus Christ!
Stretchy
It's
bear.
another 2.
The bear manages to squeeze its arms between yours and break free of your attempt to suplex it. You are not shoved back, but you are not going to be able to complete the suplex.
Okay.
You now have an opportunity to make your move next.
Okay. Here we go. Athletics. I'm gonna fine. We'll just shove. We'll do it the hard way.
Jesus.
Okay,
It didn't
22.
roll, but I got a 22.
Do you wish to use your bardic inspiration before I roll?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do it.
This is your offensive moment.
And I'm
Oh
not
Plus
rolling.
one, so
my
23.
My
God.
God, I'm rolling like garbage tonight.
So
Thank
here
God
it is
I
with
finally rolled
disadvantage.
low.
Ah,
Six
so is the
plus
bear.
8. Okay. So 6 plus 8 is a grand total of 14. So you do succeed. What do you wish to accomplish?
Man, I want to try the suplex again, but all right, we'll go with just the push this time instead.
Right.
Okay.
Do
You
what?
give
I'll
a
do
good
the
push.
suplex. Never mind. We'll do the suplex. We're
You're
gonna
doing
suplex.
suplex. Okay.
We're gonna
So once
suplex
again,
this
you
bear.
manage to get under its arms, and you go lower. You go for that center of gravity. You try to wrap your arms around it, armor clanking against fur and flesh, and its arms are like flailing above you as you try to suplex it. Here it comes. One more strength save, as it is going to try to break free and shove you back. Here we go. Here's its strength check. You have one more. Oh, it gets a natural 20 for 28. You do still have one more bardic inspiration.
Did it have advantage or disadvantage?
Oh, disadvantage. I'm sorry. So 16. So actually, that'd be a 24.
Okay, so I have to make a strength saving throw.
Now you're making a strength saving throw,
Hey.
Onward.
and you have
Come on,
one
Warren,
more
please.
Constitution save.
All right, I'm going
Okay.
with the D8. I'm throwing the D8.
So,
Oh wait, what?
wait. Also, so technically, right now, no. First, burn the D8. Let's see if I have to. Let's see if I have
Okay,
to burn the D8.
Okay. Last inspiration. Come on, baby. That's a 4.
Okay, so that's a 22 against its 24. What do you do?
Okay. So what I'm going to do then, I am going. So I would imagine like at this point, seeing like the wrestling and stuff like that. Like people are, I would assume like the barriers and us are probably cheering and stuff like that.
Oh,
like it's an
you
actual
guys
fucking
are
wrestling
cheering. The
match.
Bears are just completely passive. They're just watching.
It's like,
What do you call it? So Ophelia is going. She's kind of like getting a little bit too much into this, and she kind of like stands closer to this pedestal as she's over here like literally screaming, "Warren, you better fucking win this, or else I'm gonna fucking kill you!" And from her yelling,
Jesus.
I'm gonna cast silvery barbs.
Okay.
So, and her yelling's gonna like distract the bear to force it to re-roll again, and I'm gonna give Warren advantage.
Okay, here we go. So we're gonna redo this roll. We're gonna hold on to Bardic Inspiration as a +4.
Okay.
Okay. You now have advantage on your strength saving throw.
Thank God.
So here we go. Here's its disadvantage. It gets an 11 plus its
Okay.
8 is 19.
Blow of God,
So you
Warren.
need to roll at least a 15 to match it with advantage.
Strength. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Okay, that's a 20. You do manage to do it. So, all of a sudden, the bear is trying to get down, lower its center of gravity, crush you underneath its weight, but you have your arms wrapped around it, and suddenly, with a surge of energy, as it is, suddenly the bear is like, "What the fuck?" As something tickles the back of its brain from this silvery barbs. You suddenly feel this opportunity, and you lift and you heft down low with your strong, non-existent thigh muscles, and up the bear goes. And suddenly, the bear's legs clear the ground, and the bear can see what's happening before it even happens. And it reaches out, trying to stop itself from falling, but it knows it's too late. Suddenly, whoosh, plop! It just kind of lands on its front feet, but the front feet are out of bounds.
Inconceivable. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And suddenly the fight is over. Honey does not try to lift you or push you or anything like that. Honey instead just kind of rolls off to the side, getting out from on top of you, letting you stand, and says, "Well, by the rules that we have obeyed for many generations, you strange creature, now decide where we take our next vacation."
Warren's just on his back like, did I win?
Yes, that is what I just said. Well, so Ibnixis hears this. You hear,
Yeah, Warren doesn't know what's
just
going
like,
on.
Yes, you won. You won, Warren.
Warren's just like, hey, like throws his hands up like in the air, like above him, and he just like gives 2 thumbs up, and then he just They fall to his sides as he's like panting, like, oh god.
The great gatewood begins to glow. The motes of energy begin to swirl forth into the front of the tree. And little by little, they stack together. Tick, 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 tick. Glowing with brighter and brighter energy until a large door begins to form. An arched doorway over one of the ingresses of the tree's bark. Very well, let's get on with it then. And the bears, one by one, begin to form a little polite line to go through the portal. But you enter into a space that is drastically different than the Feywild. There's a gentle fog over this area, first and foremost. A moisture that kind of clings to your skin. You smell water and moss. And you see behind you there is a body of water. A humongous lake, in and of itself the size of a country, that stretches to the north. Jagged rocks reach towards the sky, gentle waves driven by the wind lapping at the shoreline and at these rocks, creating a soft sound of water. Around you and below you, the earth is gray, this dark brownish gray that kind of crumbles easily under your feet. It has a slightly moist texture, not quite like mud, but not far from it. There are trees nearby. Very few of them have leaves. Their crooked branches reaching out to a sky as if praying for sunlight. Around you, you do see a handful of structures that look tidy and well kept. They have purple-tiled roofs and have a sturdy slat construction with large logs acting as the major supports. They have a cobblestone foundation around the base of them, giving them a rather classic sort of look. But none of these buildings are very crowded, unlike Arkala. Few of them are higher than 2 or maybe 3 stories. There are docks nearby. You can see at a distance there are people manning boats that are coming in and hauling fish up onto the shore. You can see that there are a handful of individuals that are looking at you with surprised, wide eyes. Most of them look human or elven, and they wear nice, simple clothes in various shades of blue and purple. Some brown, some tan. Some look old, some look young. And there's where you find yourself, behind a structure that looks to be some sort of storage house.
Just a quick question. Everbury, on the map, what country is that located in again?
So you guys have, made quite the travel.
We did.
A whole 60 feet between Everbury and Arkala.
Oh, 60
Oh,
feet!
60 feet!
Wow.
Just a date travel. Look at that.
Yep.
One thing I wanted to check on the timeline,
Mhm.
and this is just double checking because I know we talked about this. Gosh, it feels like such a long time ago.
I know, last year.
It was a
maybe.
whole year ago.
Yeah.
But are we back before there were enormous beasts roaming the wilds?
You are not sure. However, you do find a tavern. It looks like a relatively small space. Kind of not connected, but kind of butted up against the side of a larger structure. Looks to be a work center, a carpentry of some sort. The name of this place is called the Bone Splinter. Know that it is a. You can see the flower that is being worn on very many people around here. It is a kind of small petaled little flower with kind of long. What do you call the little bits that pop out with the pollen?
Pestles.
Yes, and it seems like everyone has at least one of those on their person.
Yes, right. We're back in the old man times.
The old man
So I was,
times.
For you see, I was wearing a radish that day around my belt collar because, of course, that was the style at the time.
Style at the time.
Okay,
sure.
it's not what I thought it was then.
Was it really?
No, it's
Given-
probably exactly what you think it was. I'm just teasing.
No, because given that Audrey knows that a vampire runs the town,
Oh.
I thought it might be a garlic flower.
Oh no,
It's
Oh.
not, because those are a puffball of smaller flowers.
And so he stops for a second. He kind of clears his throat, and then he takes a big sniff in the air, and he's going to use a divine
Okay.
sense.
you can feel the knowledge kind of entering your mind, because once those pleasant scents of polished wood and pleasantly cooked fish and the apple cider and the nice lily-like flowers is all pushed away, you smell death.
Oh,
The scent of rotting flesh.
oh,
You smell preservatives. You smell decay. You smell fungus. You smell
Adre.
Adre.
Pretty much.
And though Adre does have a little bit of that scent about him, more than that, the other patrons register very clearly as undead. However, none of them register as evil.
Okay, so after Warren takes a big couple sniffs, and he's like his little glowy dot eyes narrow for a second. He looks to the left and looks to the right, and he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he goes back to eating his fish. And he's like, then like with the mouth was like, "They're he, keeps his voice down a little bit." He's like, "Yep, that's confirmed. There's kind of like it smells a little similar to Adre, a little mushroomy and that sort of thing, but yeah, but they're not evil or anything. They're fine." And he just keeps eating his fish.
If they're all undead, then what? Like, how are they all here? Like, did they all just come back like people do in Arcala?
Well, this is definitely not like what happens in Arcala, but the cause might be the same.
Quite so. Say, Warren, I
Mhm.
don't suppose you can sense a certain bird about?
No, I can't sense him, but I could ask him to stop by if you want.
Not immediately.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
Actually, Warren, make a religion check.
Oh, baby.
Solid 1 right here.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That sounds about right. Ah, close.
It's one digit.
It's a 5
It's a
total.
5. Oh, baby.
Nice.
You are content.
You are.
The content, yeah, look,
Yeah, fish going
No.
rapidly into your
Oblivious.
belly. You have warm drink ahead of you. It's all good.
It's all good. No God's asking me of anything. So it's like, no one's asking me to do nothing. So
It seems that everyone is just wary of your entire group. It doesn't seem like anybody is connecting with the fact that you are a similarly conditioned creature.
okay,
It seems that it's enough that you are an outsider of some kind.
okay.
Bartender kind of comes over and says, "Is everything to your liking?"
Warren like leans to the side, making sure that Ernest has a clear shot.
Oh,
if you're gonna-
why yes, why yes, ma'am. Much appreciated.
Oh, good.
I don't mean to impose, but I wanted to ask: are you all right?
Oh, yeah, yes, I'm fine. Doing well. I get paid.
I get paid.
Good, good.
Yes.
It's it's nothing really important, but I just wanted to double check. I do believe there might be someone else in here that might be metabolistically challenged.
Oh, is the fish not good?
Oh no. The fish is just fine. I'm what I mean to ask is, does this town have any particular opinions about the undead?
Oh,
Is there a record scratch and everyone looked at us?
Pulls out dagger. Well,
It
that's
seems
a
like
rest.
the conversation here is a little bit quiet. Some people are picking up on little words here and there, and but nothing like shocking. But she kind of laughs and she says, "Well, I would say, what is your opinion on Undead?"
My best friend's an undead. He's right over there. See, he's got the mushroom on his head.
Erst shrugs. Can't say I mind them.
Oh, good. Oh,
Slowly
where
puts
are you
dagger
all
away.
from, by the way, you're not part of the caravan. They haven't. They're not due to arrive in some time.
Aye, that be so. Honestly, I do believe we're from further away than you might be expecting.
Oh,
But it's a long story, and I'm afraid we're a little weary from the road we traveled.
Okay. Well, I won't pry.
If don't worry. If we get the opportunity, I'll be back and tell the tale.
Oh, good. Well, let me know if you need anything else. Then she wanders back to her station.
Audrey's gonna try and see that symbol again.
Okay, go for it.
You see, Erst has a very high social AC as well.
Oh.
So there you go. Ooh.
So this time, as she wanders back, because you know what to look for and you're frustrated, you kind of lean over to try to get a better angle. We'll call this a success. You notice that there is a handle of something that is jutting out from her back.
A handle?
Yes.
Oh no.
At first you thought, oh, she must be wearing it at her hip or something like that. No, it is very clearly something that is lodged into her lower back.
Like a knife handle or like a handle on the end of a string?
It looks like it would be the handle of some sort of tool. You're not sure if it's a knife or something else, but it is small. Could be a
So
chisel.
it's
All
not
right,
it's not a handle with which to wield her. Good to know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. It is not like a door handle that's stuck to her back that swings.
Oh,
open.
I was thinking more of like a pull string.
No.
For like,
I thought they were like puppets.
There's
No,
a
there's no
sneaky
keyhole.
mob
There's no
boom.
wind up. No.
So it's like it's a town of clockwork, but they're all pull strings.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
You just started up like a lawnmower.
well, no, that would be
Those
like
versions-
the focus of a spell, right?
Very much. Yeah. Very much like a like the handle of a tool of some kind, like you
Okay.
would find a trowel or a chisel or potentially a dagger.
Ophelia looks at Uris and she says, I think probably staying on the low side would probably be best. I'd rather have a couple of eyes on me than the whole town on me.
Aye, well, alright. Saves a couple of copper anyway.
Those who sent us here didn't make it exactly clear what we were supposed to do.
Oh, aye. The goal is fairly direct, all things considered, though quite nebulous. All we've got to do is gather support for our color. Goodness.
Warren, you could probably ask them if they have a temple to Ragnall around here.
Oh,
think-
absolutely.
We're probably back in the days when it was still being actively worshipped.
Actually, that's a good question. They
Oh.
already spoke about caravans, which isn't necessarily a... Sorry, I should probably do this in character. Actually, that does raise quite the quandary. What if... Well, they were talking about caravans, but are those the same sorts of caravans that we're used to? If the wilds are still wild, does that mean the gods have already gone?
Warren seems to have a bit of a panic. He's like,
Just ask them if they have temples and which gods that you know about with the temples. That's all you need to do.
oh, okay. I can do that. One moment. So Warren kind of shakily stands up. The idea of like, oh no. Look on the table, Warren. It's like, excuse me. I had a few
Yes.
questions.
Oh yes, please.
I'm a paladin of a couple of different faiths. It's interesting.
You
It's
see
interesting.
Her eyes widen a little bit, and she gets a little. Her body language is reading nervous.
Okay, so he's like,
Oh, you are. Oh,
yes. And I was wondering if you had certain temples around. For instance, do you happen to know of the god of, like, let's say, undeath, like Racknull, for instance? You happen to have a temple to him somewhere around here?
You had one job.
No.
Huddle like a moose.
Yep.
We have good temples. We have and she's just stammering and she's like, you can see her eyes are glancing to the other people and some of the other patrons, heard the question because Warren is a bombastic person.
Yeah. It's like, oh.
And
well.
the entire place is silent. Everyone is looking at Warren now.
So he pulls out
Andre's gonna chime in. He's asking so he can go pray at it.
Yes, of course. Was that not obvious?
No, I listen.
He pulls out.
Have mercy
Sorry.
on an old soul. You all look fine. Very, very lively. Whatever your business is here, we don't want any trouble.
Oh, of course not. I'm not here to cause trouble. I just want to make sure I pay my proper respects. He pulls out his bag of holy trinkets and kind of like puts them on the table like one by one. Do you recognize any of these?
She's looking at it, and she is sweating bullets. She's looking at these, and she like visibly recoils a little bit. And roll if any of you would like to roll an insight check.
Okay. Where is it?
Off we go. Bar of low rolls.
Oh,
baby.
dear.
Bar.
Ophelia.
One sec. Don't worry. I've got this.
Another one.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm prepared.
You think you are.
Okay, 13. I don't know why I rolled twice, but 13.
No idea.
Anybody else want to roll on this?
EB.
Let's see. She's
Oh, she's BRB right now?
yeah, she better be.
Oh,
Right
she
now.
be okay.
So you said insight, right?
Yes.
Oh.
You've got a +2 to it, yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So Ernest, you see that she is very uncomfortable. She doesn't want to touch or identify any of them. That's the main read that you get, is that she doesn't seem to want to answer that particular question.
Ernest tries to put two and two together and gets at least halfway there and calls out, Warden, you best be putting those away. I think they're making her uncomfortable.
Oh, my apologies. So he kind of just puts them.
Sorry,
back in his
ma'am.
bag.
No offense was meant.
Yes, she gives you the best, like, nervous, polite smile that she can. Maybe you should talk to, someone else. If you're looking for information, there is a man, Karsten Nikolai. He runs the barracks. He's part of the guard, and so if there's some grand business that you have here, then that would be the way. And I'm going to type his name in chat.
As soon as Warren hears that name, he lights up like, I did it. I got information. He's like, oh, of course. We'll do that immediately. Thank you very much.
I am best negotiator.
Best negotiator.
You can see, like, as soon as you take that, right, and you seem pleased with it, she breathes a heavy sigh of relief.
Thank you, ma'am.
I am so good at this.
I am so good at this. And he just walks back, and he's got this this just like smile on his face. He's so pleased with himself. And he's like, yes, I got the name, Karsten Nikolai. Yes, we should talk to him. And he's nodding like super enthusiastically. It's the dead silence. As he just like looks between everyone, like with his smile mouth open.
Yeah, no response,
Like,
right?
It's you found something important, Warden. Good job.
Thank you. Yes.
And pats all around.
Yeah. You came off as a wee bit more threatening than you thought. owing to the usual reputation of paladins and undead, and I did not think that the symbols would help in much.
So he stops and he's like, "What do you mean?"
I kind of wish that one of you guys had detect thoughts. I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now because, like, in her mind, she was like, "Is this a test? If I pick the wrong god, will he kill me?"
I figured it was, oh God, he's trying to turn me with everything he has.
Right.
Yes.
Jesus.
We're not dead.
He's bringing out the big guns. He's an inquisitor. He's going to slay us all.
And meanwhile,
There you go.
just inside Warren's head is just like.
You've just got Tiny Tim's "I'm so happy" playing.
Exactly.
God.
Man.
Okay.
Warren's thoughts. Nyan.
No, I'm not throwing away pages of notes.
Yeah, it's just inside of Warren's head is like the guitar riffs of Freebird.
Trust me here. Warren, go ask a question. Didn't take much in the way of planning. Let's go with that.
Planning. Oh man.
All I imagine for like, oh shit, sorry. All I imagine is when Warren finished talking to the old lady, the subquest queer guitar riff noise from Yakuza played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, with this information, what do you do?
About what time is it?
Tough to say with how gray it is outside, but you believe that it's midday.
Okay, so we got time. We can go. We
Yeah.
can talk to him. It's not like we're gonna bust into the barracks at like midnight. Be like, "I'm here to talk to Nikolai."
No,
Like,
in the time that you've spent here, it hasn't gotten much darker.
If there's one thing I've learned from video games is never trust someone with the last name Nikolai. Looking at you, Resident Evil 3.
Aha.
Uh-oh.
I'm just waiting for the sun to go down and them all to reveal that they're secretly vampires.
Oh no.
Hmm.
It's like,
Where
uh-oh.
vampire wolf.
Where vampire? Okay, all right.
Oh, okay. Let's start
And
write that down.
Yeah,
There-
add that to my notes.
Scribbling.
Uh-huh.
During under the light of the full moon, they undergo a terrible transformation into Vincent Price.
Oh, God.
Oh God.
You keep that shit to yourself, Alex. Damn it.
Shan't.
Bust out the mouse traps. Okay, so you have a name.
Oh.
We do.
You have a very nervous bartender.
Alright, so if I was gonna go kill the Bart, no, I'm kidding. Alright, I guess we should go meet this Nikolai person, I guess.
Makes sense
Hello?
to me.
Oh. I thought I muted myself for a second.
Oh, gotcha. Going to death.
Alright.
Onwards, sort of.
Okay.
Onward!
Your meal finished. You awkwardly stand with all eyes on you as you walk back out the door and into the cool, humid breeze of Everbury. Once again, people that are milling about, going through their noonish, afternoonish, tough to say, sort of ordeals. You begin to pick up on a few things. One is they all are apprehensive of your entire group. Two is that on each person you see one of those flowers. They start to stand out. They're all this kind of soft shade of purple. Some wear them in their hair, some wear them in their clothes. And then you notice that one is a skeleton. Is walking on by with one of those flowers in his jacket pocket.
Friendly nodding, of course.
Of course. He nods back with a bit of a rattling nervousness to his stature as he kind of quickly makes his way into another building.
Wait, did the person even tell us where Nikolai was?
Nope.
Barracks. Wherever the barracks are.
Yep.
So just
Quite.
ask for ask where the barracks are. Then we just go there. Yeah, easy
The
peasy.
feeling not wearing those flowers marks us.
Possibly a wee bit. But let us first and foremost go ahead and ask for directions.
Okay. What do you do?
We ask for directions.
Okay.
We ask for directions to the barracks.
You go up to a
It's shaped like itself.
dark elven looking person.
Oh yeah. Why don't we just minor image up one of those flowers? Does anyone know minor image?
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, of
Minor
course.
image?
So there you go.
But
You mean? What was
I
it
believe
called?
prestidigitation can also do something like that.
I have thaumaturgy. Does that
Thaumaturgy?
count?
Oh,
I would
yeah.
allow
No,
thaumaturgy to create something like that if you wish to use it.
meh.
Wait, isn't thaumaturgy more for voice though?
It is.
Generally, thaumaturgy is limited to a few fairly background stuff. Shake the earth, make your voice sound deeper, reverb, change your eyes to look like something else, make fire glow a different color, things like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you wish to create, like, I would say a purple patch on your chest or something like that resembles a flower, I would allow that.
Yeah.
I suppose Erst could simply wave her hands and minor illusion up a flower, though I don't think a batch of flowers is within its can do.
Oh.
Could ask
You
where
want
they
to do
get the
one?
flowers.
Oh yeah, I guess we could ask where do you get a flower? It's like, well, you have to die first of all.
Well, on the other hand, yeah, as long as it doesn't take us more than 10 minutes, silent image might work nicely.
So you go up to. Do you do that before you go up to this person to ask directions?
Yeah, might as well. Ernst is going to go ahead and cast silent image and cause and stick a flower in everyone's lapel / behind the ear / so forth, and then have to probably focus a fair bit on making it bob along after each of them.
Okay. So decorated like the locals are, you approach a dark elven looking man. He has dark gray skin and white hair that's tied back in a ponytail, and immediately you can see that he is missing one eye. He has an eye patch that he wears. And he's dressed in commoner's clothes, though they are well fitted to his tall, slender body. And he holds a cane, though it doesn't seem like he appears to need it very often. At least not for walking. He looks to you and immediately looks perturbed, but says in a dignified voice as best as he can manner, can I help you?
Aye. We're just looking for something, and I think we've gotten ourselves a wee bit lost. Don't suppose you can point us in the direction of the guard barracks, could you?
Yes, of course. Follow the road down this way, past the docks, and you'll see the fountain in the center of the square. Just beyond that is one of the barrack locations. It's clearly marked with a purple shield.
Oh, very good, very good. Down this way. Hang out right. Find the fountain. Past that, and with purple shield. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, of course. Good day to you.
Good day. And off we go.
Get away from these
He
crazies.
scurries off.
He does a heckin' move.
Could I possibly do an insight check to see if he saw through the flowers?
Yeah, go for it.
It's like X-nay the flower A.
Wow, okay, 8.
You're not
Yeah.
sure he even took notice of them.
Okay.
Maybe Warren should take off his paladin armor.
Erst
Warren, I will
grumbles
say
a little.
that it's not just you that people seem nervous about.
Okay.
Erst grumbles a little, but maintains the flowers.
So, maintaining the
Oh.
flowers as you walk on by, it doesn't seem that the acquisition of these flowers has affected people's immediate opinion of you. Something about your group that they can see immediately apparently is causing people a level of consternation. But Traveling down the road, you pass a
Um,
variety of different
sorry.
structures from...
Just a sec.
Yes.
Audrey's going to turn around, step back, and just look over the group as a whole for a moment and see if there's any, fairy dust still hanging around or anything.
Are you using detect magic or something like that?
Yeah.
You smell
Okay.
of living.
So aside from the handful of magical items that you may or may not have on your person, potions or whatever, nothing reads as magical. There's no fairy dust that's hanging on your person. There's no stench of bear or crab or frog. Nothing magical is lingering.
The old man frowns and just goes, everybody here's racist.
It's like they're
Now,
walking around.
you do
Their
notice
pebbles
that
of
there-
detect living are going off, and they're like, "What do you mean it's going on? What do you mean there's something alive here?"
Yeah. You do notice that as you walk by, there are a great number of different peoples here. You see a dwarf. You see a tiefling. You see a gnome. You see a goblin. You see a kobold. You see a dragonborn. There's humans, I think, would probably be the most numerous of the people here. But you do pick out other people that are mingling just fine with others. But you do pick out the odd skeleton. Or you do pick out somebody that is missing a leg, and it's bone from the hip down. You do see a person that has an arrow that is sticking in through the side of their head and clearing through the other side.
Oh,
This is a lot less discreet than the bar was.
it's discreet than the bar was.
As you travel, you see hints of more and more undead. You pass the fountain. It's a burbling little place where people are sitting and admiring the flowing water and the little statue that is sat upon it that shows some man, young man dressed in armor, posing heroically atop it. You pass that, and then you notice a line of purple shields up ahead, marking a barracks location for the city. There are two large double doors, and in the center of the structure, through some fences, you can see that there are training dummies and a big kind of training grounds area that is all kicked up dust and dirt. Heading to the front of this structure, you are greeted by a skeletal guard who regards you lot with... You can kind of tell that even though he doesn't have eyebrows, really, he is furrowing his brow.
He is cartoon skeleton looking right at us with a heckin'
Yeah.
suspicion.
Very much so. The little motes of energy in his eye sockets, very similar to Warren's, kind of narrow a little bit at the lot of you. And he says with a little bit of authority in his rattling voice, though it doesn't seem like he has vocal cords to speak, the voice comes regardless. And he says, "Oh, what can I do to aid the living?"
Oh, he was able to tell immediately.
And hello and good day to you as well, sir.
Good day.
I don't remember
was
saying good day.
It was suggested to us that we should talk to one Karsten Nikolai, who might be able to aid us a little bit.
Austin Nikolai. Okay, and how shall I announce you?
We are but weary travelers. Nothing fancy about it.
The weary travelers, then.
Ernst looks at the others. Did we have a more official thing going?
Still don't think we've come up with a good
Yeah, we
name.
haven't come up with a name yet.
The weary travelers, then. And he
It will do.
turns and calls to an ally who then comes out, and there's an elven woman that comes and takes a post by the door as he goes in and asks, apparently, for Karsten Nikolai. You can hear his voice traveling into the barracks. The elven woman who is wearing a scarf around her neck. She's slender and wearing the same sort of regalia, this purple and blue kind of uniform that is very straight, buttoned down the middle.
The elements of adventure.
It's very nice. And she has a set of greaves on that are more armored than the rest of what she's wearing. Just regards you with her dark black eyes. But after a moment, the skeleton comes back, followed by a gaunt-looking man. He looks human at first glance, but there's apparently very little meat upon his bones. His skin is rather taut and dire, and he has wrinkles of age dotted about his person, but also looks slightly dehydrated. He has a long pointed nose and is dressed in similar regalia to the other two with that purple and blue, but there are silver trimmed epaulettes on his shoulders that marks him of a higher rank. He has his helmet carried under his arm, a simple silver kind of peaked helm that has a spike at the very top. And he regards you all and says, "I am Kostin Nikolai, and you are the weary travelers."
Name pending.
Tis not strictly a name for us yet, not exactly. Regardless, we were told that you're involved in the town and its workings, aye?
I am the captain of the guard here.
Very good.
And he pauses and he lifts a hand. And he says, "Forgive me. Everbury is not a town that gets weary travelers. Please, step over here with me." And he, instead of inviting you in, he guides you to the side, in front of the fence, where you can clearly see the training area within. It's a way off the road, so, you're not impeding any travelers. The skeleton takes his post, and the elven woman goes back inside. This man is tall and gaunt. As he speaks, you notice the glint of fangs behind his lips. Quite pronounced canines. And he says, "We don't get weary travelers in Everbury. We get the dead. And we get the trading convoy from time to time."
Aye.
Something?
And I do believe that's the first thing that we need to be talking about.
Indeed. So, let's start with the basics.
Mhm.
Who are all of you, and why are you here?
I am Urist Eshtan of Clan Eshtan, and these are, and as she proceeds to go down the line and make the appropriate introductions that she's been allowed to make in the past.
Okay,
Cool.
so you introduce everyone in turn?
I believe that, as I remember, Ophelia may have wanted to be introduced by a fake name. So Urist sort of.
Have I done fake names with Ophelia before?
Have you?
I had thought, but I'm not certain.
I don't think I've done fake names with Ophelia before.
Or was that a Clume thing?
That was a Clume thing, I think.
Was that
Yeah,
a Clume thing?
I think so.
Huh.
Yeah, I think it might have been included.
Sorry, my apologies.
So you introduce Ophelia and Adre and Ibonixis and Warren. And Truffles and Ziat. And, very good to meet you all. So, why are you here?
Well, that's a much longer story, but the especially short version is we're here in hopes of eventually finding common cause.
Common cause.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Tell me, what do you know in general about the wilds outside?
The wilds. Well, they're rather untamed. There are great beasts that roam. There are other cities well beyond, which is where you come from, I presume.
Urst nods, but lets them go on.
Anything else could be telling. Where is it that you're from?
We hail, at least most recently, from the much further southeast here, the town of Arkala.
Now we are getting somewhere.
Now we are getting somewhere.
Arkala, and you can see he visibly eases.
I'm good. I'm just comfy.
Just do a couple.
He visibly relaxes. You can see that much of the tension in his gaunt form slips away, but he retains his posture and he retains his poise. Arkala. Very good. So, weary travelers from Arkala, Urist, Ophelia, Adre, Ibenixis, Warren. He kind of nods and he looks at Warren in particular and he kind of gives a nod of recognition.
Nods back.
And as I said before, I am Karsten Nikolai of the Guard. It is very strange that you have appeared within our territory without me having been notified prior, but well met.
Well met.
So, if you don't mind, if I could be so that I may be of better assistance to you, what is it that you are hoping to find common cause in? A political matter of some sort?
Antics,
Politics. Okay, now, I cannot speak on authority of the king, but I can say, at the very least, that Everbury is known for being a neutral place.
Aye. But let us return briefly to the things that would be telling, and to the nervousness of yours that went away once you noticed that we're from a city.
Yes, well, a different city than I expected, let's say.
Oh, I bet they're having problems with the... Okay.
Now, I must offer my apologies. I'm not yet fully aware of the political situation in town, so don't let me step on any toes, aye?
Of course, yes. If you are from Arkala, I would not expect you to understand our situation.
She nods. Just my point. I did not know, not really, who else you're dealing with or what you're dealing with, aye?
Indeed.
But what do you know? And again, just let me know if I'm stepping on a few toes here. But what do you know about the occasional folk who eke out a living outside of walls?
Oh. Nothing more than rumors, hearsay. The Watchers in the Trees, those with red eyes, they go by a number of names. They don't interact with us. Occasionally, one that has died will wander into our care.
Ah, I do see. So,
But they are notoriously tight-lipped and keep to themselves.
aye. And that's with good reason. They have a number of their own secrets and other such stuff, most of which we are not privy to either. But that does bring me to the ultimate purpose of our arrival.
Yes?
It's not an imminent threat at the moment, but there's apparently some potent mage or other sort of empowered individual lurking out there in the woods who has some means of guiding the beasts here and there, the big ones.
You'll have to tell me plainly, ma'am Urist.
Aye.
The quicker you get to the point, the better, I think.
Aye. My apologies.
Audrey will just give Urist a little bonk with his walking stick. It's like, stop being a book of riddles.
Fine.
Fine.
This isn't
No.
a court.
In short, it's not going to be happening for a few decades yet. Nah, but there is someone preparing as we speak to attack Arkala using several great beasts, and a number of further forces are assembling.
He narrows his eyes and he says, "That's quite a claim. What, out of curiosity, what date do you think it is? As far as I
Blink.
understand, Arcala uses the same calendar that the trading convoy uses.
Erst blinks a couple of times and taps her chin. Let's see. I suspect it is, and Erst names a year about 50 years back from where they started.
At that,
mean
you
forward?
see.
We're back
Yeah, well,
in time.
back in time. Yeah, yeah. You see Karsten kind of smirk a little bit. Is this a joke?
Is
Are
this
you
a
all
joke?
some band of circus travelers that have wandered into Everbury?
Nay, I'm afraid it isn't a joke. Though I get the impression that I'm about to become the butter one.
Real quick.
So,
Zafane-
no, I recognize someone with something to say. So let me deliver you the straight line. Pray tell, what year actually be it?
There we go. Go ahead, Renard. You want to say something real quick?
Adre, does Adre still have that like tracking scar, like that thing that he got stabbed through his hand with?
Yep.
Can you like telepathy? Does the telepathy go this far? Like we might be able to figure out if the dudes are still like around.
The problem is he wouldn't have the mark at this point.
You still have the mark on your hand.
No, but the other guy wouldn't.
Oh, well, interesting. isn't
Because
How do you know? Test it.
Try and just reach out with your brain. This dude just freaks out like, who the heck is this?
New Mark who dis?
A new Mark who dis?
Audrey will just like glance at Warren like, there is no way you had enough brain cells to think of that.
Oh no, I was asking it out of character just so you would be
Out
aware
of
of it.
character, okay.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
Warren would have exploded had he thought of that.
Yeah.
Actually, one thing I can do.
Dun-dun.
Okay, so you have that, and what we are going to do is he is going to look at you squarely, Urist, and say, "It's the 19th day of the harvest month of the old king's year 84." And at that, you will know that you were not 50 years in the past. Judging by it, you're only about 5 months in the past.
Oh. Huh.
First squints a little at that, then proceeds to slap a hand over one eye. Ugh, that dumb frog. Well,
Well.
that changes things a wee bit.
He made a very big deal about dropping us less than half a year into the past.
I know, right?
It was very important. Listen.
I'm not saying that's not an incredible feat, but
No,
I
it's
mean-
it's still good. It's just
he talked up a mountain and then gave us a ski hill.
was kind of expecting to have more time to be able to, I don't know, raise
know.
forces or something.
5 months is plenty of time. What are you talking about?
Hmm.
Really, we only have like 2.
You know, listen. And then
Considering
trucking them
travel
across-
time, yes.
Yeah. Well, they can move fast. Listen.
Yeah.
Muster an army to go all the way back to Arcala, which is going to take about 3 months. Yeah,
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I'm glad we established that earlier with our little map. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
it's almost like maybe there was a purpose to that to give you guys that sense of
no.
urgency.
Oh no.
So,
So we
so we've got if it's gonna take a group to march something like 3 months along caravan route to reach Arcala, that leaves us 2 months ish. Lovely.
Assuming 0 issues along the way. Yes.
Exactly. Earth sighs.
Well,
Well,
it's boned.
and having had all of this conversation directly in front of him, turns back to him with weary eyes. Well, 'tis a good, like I said, the butt of a joke, and aye, 'tis quite the good one this time.
That was quite a good one this time.
Were you afflicted by some sleeping curse or something?
We arrived in town mysteriously because we traveled through the Fae.
At that, his eyebrows go up, and he says, "Ah, you
Ah.
are definitely not from Vild, then. Okay."
Not from.
Vild.
Ah, sorry. I just didn't catch it. I was out of game.
Mm-hmm.
Ibonixis narrows her eyes at that.
It's like,
Yeah, Ibonixis knows about Vild.
Uh-oh.
So
Scary.
the troubles I speak of, we no longer have decades to worry about. We have a matter of weeks, which is oh so lovely. Months at the most.
To accomplish this vague help that you seek.
Perhaps we should be a little more direct.
In short, a member of the we generally refer to them as the exiles, as mentioned, is gathered in a force and has the power to sick the great beasts upon us, and is planning on bringing down the walls of Arcala. We do not want this, and so we come seeking help. And I know it's not like you yourself have the position, presumably, to be able to just say, "Aye, as the king of this land, let us lend you some aid." But nonetheless, we need to start somewhere, and so we're starting by telling you.
He pauses, straightens his tunic a little bit, and looks across all of you with just this wide-eyed, incredulous look of a level of disbelief, definitely. But as he listens to your story, you can see that his response is on his face before he even speaks it. He says, "There is very little that I or anyone here could do to a group of weary travelers to aid you. If..." He pauses, he takes a few breaths as if he's about to speak. "I want to help you. If nothing else, that's quite a fanciful story.
And we're hoping it comes with a happier ending.
Perhaps,
Indeed.
is there some reason you can't help, or something that perhaps we could do to, let's say, alleviate pressure, or as some kind of bargaining chip, or something like that?"
Let me lay the cards on the table. King Frederick is a paranoid man, and not for no reason. Occasionally, the theocracy of Vild sends bands of individuals much like yourself to stir up trouble. Occasionally terrorizing the city, sneaking in, slaying our people, and then leaving before they can face their own retribution. Sometimes they bring mechanisms of some threat. Sometimes they bring magical artifacts of destruction. So, to see a band such as yourselves, though you don't quite look the part of the zealous crusaders that typically come, you still stand out as troublesome. Your story is hard to believe, at best. The fact that there is some exile that would rally the great beasts to attack a city is preposterous. we here in Everbury have seldom worry for them. They tend to avoid a city made up of undead. There's no food here for them. There's nothing that smells nice here for them. Your companion, and he nods to Ziat, has probably detected as much. Animals have such keener senses, though these, and he gestures to a flower that he's wearing in his pocket, tend to make things more tolerable for our own kind, and the very few times that we must worry about the caravan.
Oh, that's easy. Then all we have to do is stop the attacks coming. And here I was worried it would be hard.
Earth
Stop a
can't
bunch
help
of
but
Random
Earth can't help
acts
but
of terror. Yes.
But
Wouldn't that be lovely?
that'd be lovely.
Earth just chuckles into a hand.
Warren declares war on terror 22 years later.
Oh.
It's not fun. It's not funny yet. We're still a year and a half out.
Look, all I'm saying is Everbury probably has a lot of oil under it, all right?
Christ, Ryan.
Well, no, it's that other place, Ville or whatever, that we're going to
Ville.
liberate.
Yeah.
We're going to Ville
Ville-
to liberate. There's oil
Yeah,
there.
yeah. It's a desert location. They've got religious zealots and lots of oil. That's all you need to know.
Oh my god.
That's so bad. I apologize.
Yeah,
Please
you
don't
better get
cancel me.
canceled
This
for
is
that.
it.
Yeah.
VTuber
And
Riley
then-
are like canceled.
Yeah. Golly, I did not plan that at all. Ville is a colorful place. It just has a religious zealot problem.
Jesus Christ.
Nice. I earned a moment from Rindar.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
It'll make it easier for people to clip this shit.
Man, I
Oh,
can't wait to
wonderful.
post that all over Twitter.
Yeah.
Golly. Oh, okay. All right. Well, setting 2000 politics aside.
Yeah.
Don't
worry, half of you weren't even born yet.
Oh,
Ouch.
Ouch. You laugh, but Maple was like 3 times that age.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so Nikolai is looking over you all with suspicion. And he says plainly, I would love to get you an audience with King Frederick, but that would be inviting the fox into the hen house, as they say.
Aye. So I suppose this is. I suppose if this were more of a story, this would be the moment that we said something along the lines of, "What can we do to prove ourselves?"
well,
He
first
gives
die.
a bit of a knowing grin. And he says, well, a simple method would be allow you to become one of us.
I do appreciate the offer, but for 2 things. First, and I do mean no offense, I've gotten rather attached to breathing. It's a habit, I know, but not one I'm eager to break.
Oh, worry not. You'll still breathe. Many of us still do, out of nothing but habit, if nothing else.
You see, this is why I said please don't take offense, because
Now,
I suppose it's just my misunderstanding there.
when you say one of us, do you just mean undead in general?
Oh, yes, there's quite a few methods. The nature of one's undeath is usually random, but...
Audrey's simply going to hold out his arm with his wrist upwards so that the guy can feel for a pulse.
He furrows a brow. What, do you wish me to bite you or something?
No,
I'm delicious.
feel for a heartbeat.
He pauses and he looks at the rest of you.
Urs-
Kind of just like nods to his arm.
Urs shrugs.
Nixie also shrugs.
I'm not amongst the living. And this is probably like the first confirmation the whole group has gotten.
Urs crosses her arms. I knew it.
Warren's like,
I knew it!
I knew it. Warren's like, oh, I thought you smelled a little funny the last time I did the last few times I've done Divine Sense.
Karsten, he slowly reaches forward and he places his hand, pinching between 3 of his fingers over your wrist, and he pauses. You can feel him pressing a little harder and waiting. Then he takes your hand in his other hand, he kind of slaps it a few times, like tap, 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 checking, and then he, holds it again.
Gets out the hourglass.
He reaches out. Yeah, he gets out a little pocket watch.
Check for breath.
Then he like looks at you suspiciously, and he reaches just without your consent, reaches up.
You broke up there.
Yeah, you broke up.
Probably for the best, since it sounded lewd.
Oh,
Pulls his hand away, and he says,
You just cut back in.
"Oh, I cut. Oh, probably all you."
Last we heard was reaches up your.
Okay, great. Yeah, reaches up to your neck and checks your pulse there. Okay, and he holds it for a minute, and then he slowly pulls his hand away, and he says, "Huh. Well, I'll be. You're definitely not from Vild. They wouldn't tolerate your kind. To be fair," and he looks over the rest of your group, and he looks at Ophelia, and he looks at Ibenixis, and he looks at Warren. None of you. They would tolerate none of you. Well, maybe you.
Ernest interrupts before he can start on with that. I know, my beauty is just such that such puritanical. No, that's not a word they'd use. That's such zealot individuals. Why, they're probably sworn to chastity or something, and I'd be too challenging. What with this glorious beard of mine? And she's just grinning up a storm.
Right. Hold on. And he reaches down and he grabs Ernest's wrist just to check. And then he goes back and checks Warren.
It's like, oh.
Then he reaches out and he checks like Ophelia just to make sure there's Ophelia.
I've just got this vision of him pulling off Warren's glove and there's just a skeletal hand underneath. He's like, skill checks for a pulse.
Right.
As he approaches to try and check Ophelia's pulse, she kind of like whips her hands back, like hisses at him.
Oh, he kind of like recoils as well.
Oi.
My apologies, I suppose. May I check your pulse, ma'am?
Then she reaches out with her hand.
And he checks. And do you have a pulse, Ophelia?
Let me actually double check.
Let me make sure.
One of those questions you don't expect to have to check the character sheet for.
It's like, hold on, I gotta make sure I'm alive.
Yeah, I do have a pulse.
Okay.
You do have a pulse. Okay. He kind of nods. He says, okay. That goes a long way. Interesting. Very well. Tell you what. I'll run you through a test. Something that the people of Vild, sent on some foolish crusade, would never do.
As long as it didn't be lethal, or bobbing her head towards Audrey, otherwise destructive, and as long as we can do it with good moral character.
He pauses and kind of thinks about that.
Erst raises a hand. Not whatever sort of zealotical quote-unquote ethics they've got. No, more the whole don't be unkind to people who haven't done you any wrong sort of thing.
Yeah. Very well. I have a test. Lysithia. Call for Lysithia, won't you?
Fire Emblem, what?
And the skeleton nods and goes back in, calls. The elven woman with black hair and black eyes steps out. Lysithia, take them to the... And he thinks, and she knows what's about to come out of his mouth, and she starts frowning very seriously. And finally he says, take them to the Red Witchery.
Ooh.
See if their motives are true. And if they are, maybe I'll be able to put in a good word and get them an audience with the king, and we can talk. logistics. After all, an ally in Arkala, much better than other places, especially if you made it all the way here.
Aye.
Now we're talking.
Appreciated.
The elf woman named Lysithia closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. And she lets it out slow. And says, Commander Nikolai, I must protest. And Nikolai puts up a hand and says, No. This, you have a gift, and this, I am sure, is the best way to use it. And she gives a long sigh again. She says, through gritted teeth, Commander Nikolai, please, I do not wish to be subjected. Now!
Now.
It is time to put your talent to the test. Go with these strangers, take them to the Red Witchery, and examine their thoughts for treachery. She finally says, Yes, sir. Then opens her eyes and glares at the lot of you, a death glare. Come with me. Let's get this over with.
A world
Also-
of imagination.
Riley, I love how the more you kept speaking as Nikolai, his voice just slowly became Victor from Vermintide 2.
I know, I tried not to. Damn it. But
Lord Sigmar!
he crosses his arms, nods, and watches you head off, following Lysithia to the Red Witchery, down one road and to another. And that, unfortunately, is where we must pause for the night.
Oh.